many people, including myself, are doubting the real intention of those who have translated the Sanskrit Durgapuja mantras into Bengali and have proposed that we offer Pushpanjali in Bengali mantra. We know what the doubts are. We have already discussed about it. I have already discussed about my doubts and my apprehensions. However, let us keep our doubts aside for the time being and look at it from a different point of view, from a different angle. What if people like Nrsimha Prasad Bhaduri, Pavitra Sarkar, Kali Prasanna Bhattacharya, etc. have really thought that it is wrong for us to utter Sanskrit mantras in a wrong way, and it is better for us to understand the Sanskrit mantras in Bengali and utter it in our own mother language, which we understand. What if they have thought in this angle? They have thought about it in this way. How can we rule out this possibility? It may also be so that they are really concerned about how correctly we uttered the mantras instead of in which language we are uttering it. It may be so. In that case, what I think, I would rather now share my thoughts regarding this. If the Bhaduri, Sarkar and Bhattacharya has really thought about this, then I have a proposal for them. It is very good, very correct that we do not know Sanskrit. Most of us, we do not know Sanskrit. The Marxists came into power in 1977, and within 4 to 5 years, they had deleted Sanskrit from the school syllabus. Before that, Sanskrit used to be a compulsory subject till 10th standard. And the standard of education was also much higher than what it is right now. However, the Marxists deleted Sanskrit from school syllabus, and now it is very true that most of us, we haven't learned Sanskrit, we do not know Sanskrit, we do not understand the meaning of the chants, but we offer our submission, we offer our puja to Ma Durga in Sanskrit mantras. The way the priest chants it, we also chant it. But that is how we offer our puja. The puja remains, for us, the holistic approach of the puja is that we chant it in Sanskrit, maybe in wrong way. And maybe it is also, many people are saying that it is very wrong to chant mantras in a wrong way. It is better to chant them in correct way, but in a language which we can say in a correct manner. Many people are arguing like this. In that case, the people who have translated it are learned men. Nrsimha Prasad Bhaduri is a learned man in Sanskrit. He is supposed to know Sanskrit. He knows the language. So in that case, what Nrsimha Bhaduri needs to do, I can suggest an exercise for these learned men that, remember in the childhood you used to do simplification sums. A big expression, we used to simplify it to its simplest form. In the same way, Nrsimha Bhaduri et al., they have to break each sentence of Sanskrit mantras into parts of speeches in Sanskrit, and then they have to say the meaning of each parts of speech and then translate each parts of speech into Bengali, and then have to translate the Sanskrit sentence in literally, and then they have to translate the Sanskrit sentence, the real meaning, the spiritual, what it is, the bhavanubad. First they'll have to do the literal translation, and then they have to do the bhavanubad in Bengali. So it's a voluminous exercise, but For the learned men like Nrsimha Prasad Bhaduri, it is possible. He knows how to break Sanskrit mantras into parts of speech and then correspondingly break them into simpler form and finally to derive the ultimate Bengali meaning of it. It is possible for a person like Nrsimha Bhaduri to do that, and he is expected to do that exercise, and it would be a voluminous exercise, and after that offer that work of his, that exercise, that work of his to the common mass, and let us read it, let us understand the meaning of each Sanskrit sentence, and then utter the Sanskrit sentence itself in the correct way. So this would be a much more, much more acceptable and much more restorative way, because we are not used to offer our pujas in Bengali, because puja is a spiritual experience. It is a psychological, it is a realizational affair. It is not just chanting the mantra. It is a spiritual and realizational affair. So, from since childhood, we know that puja is to be offered in that way. The priest would chant and we would repeat it. And when repeating, we would offer our submission at the feet of the Mother Goddess. It's a holistic approach. Puja is religion. It is not just chanting a few words. And that is how we associate ourselves with the whole world. We connect with the whole world through our culture, and the culture is rooted through religion. So this is how we feel. This is, as I said yesterday also, this is our fundamental right to religion. That cannot be distorted. Sanskrit cannot be taken away. But what Nrsimha Bhaduri can easily do, he can digitize, each sentence of Sanskrit, each sentence of the Sanskrit mantras. He can break them into parts of speech and correspondingly translate it finally into the meaningful Bengali sentence, so that the people can read, understand, and then utter the original Sanskrit chant, the original Sanskrit mantra, to offer puja. Because otherwise, the moment we get into the Bengali part of it, it doesn't remain puja anymore. It is not only the chanting, it is puja that is important. Right? Otherwise there's a problem. If this exercise is not done by Nrsimha Bhaduri, means if he doesn't break each sentence into individual parts of speeches and then give meaning of each individual part of speech, and then correspondingly translate it into the end product, there is a problem. What is the problem? The problem is the person who doesn't know Sanskrit but knows Bengali would not be able to understand whether the translation has been done correctly or not. If Nrsimha Bhaduri et al. Does only finally, if he jumps all these steps in between and straightway comes to the translation of each chant, what is the guarantee that he has not translated it wrong? The question can be really asked. I would raise that question. I do not know Sanskrit. But what is the guarantee that the meaning of a particular sentence in Sanskrit is exactly what they have given written in Bengali? A person doesn't know Sanskrit cannot validate whether the translation is correct or wrong. The person who doesn't know Sanskrit but knows Bengali cannot validate. But the person who knows Sanskrit but doesn't know Bengali cannot validate whether the Bengali translation has been correct or wrong. The only person who can validate is a person who knows both Sanskrit and Bengali, Nrsimha Bhaduri himself. So, what is he expecting? Is he expecting our faith point to shift from the puja mantras to him? Does he expect that we should accept his translations at his face value? And we won't try to validate whether he is wrong or right? What if he has deliberately done a wrong translation? We won't be able to understand it because we do not know Sanskrit. Right? So, such doubts can easily crop up. Many people would be there who will raise this question. What is the guarantee that your translation is correct? To obviate this chance, to rule out this possibility, what Bhaduri can do is that he can break each sentence into individual part of speech. And in that case, it is possible also to validate through Google and through other sources also. A particular part of speech was a noun, pronoun, interjection, conjunction, preposition. We can really try to, gather information whether all these have been done correctly or not. So what they can do is they can do it in a there's no shortcut to success. They have to take the longer route of teaching people the real meaning of the Sanskrit chants. They have to take the pain of teaching, and teaching will have to be done step by step, the way you used to do the simplification sums. So each sentence would have to be broken at least into 10 to 12 sentences. It's a voluminous exercise, but there is no shortcut to success. If they are really wanting people to chant Sanskrit mantras correctly, and that is their only objective, then this long cut would have to be taken. Otherwise, it appears that Nrsimha Bhaduri, Pavitra Sarkar and Kali Prasanna Bhattacharya expects that our faith shifts from puja mantras to their translation. They expect us to believe their translation on their face value. But how is it possible? It's a matter of faith. And faith is on puja mantra. In that particular atmosphere, in front of Devi Ma, the mantras being chanted by the priest, we are chanting it along with him and offering our submission. It's a puja experience. The faith is on that point. How can they expect that point of faith to shift towards them, their panditya and their knowledge? How can we? Why should they be so larger than life for us? Even they cannot expect it. As learned men, I'm sure they won't expect it. But the doubts are coming that they have done it deliberately. They have done it deliberately, and they want to desanskritize Bengali to help those people whose organization was raided yesterday by NIA. Yes, that is the belief. And it's not only a belief, it's a fact that Marxists are the ideological partner of PFI in India. And these are the people, these are the backbone, people like Bhaduri, Sarkar, Bhattacharya. These are the backbone of the organization which was raided yesterday by NIA in West Bengal. So such doubts are there. To eliminate such doubts from the people's mind, please, what I request them is, please do that voluminous exercise. Teach us the real meaning of mantras, and thus teach us the Sanskrit mantras correctly, so that we can utter the correct Sanskrit mantras and offer puja. Offering puja in Bengali is no solution at all, because that is not puja. Chanting is not the only thing that we do. In the Marxist mind can think in that way. But that's a Marxist mind. That's an Abrahamic thought process. But chanting is not puja. Puja is the holistic experience that happens with Sanskrit mantra. It cannot happen in any other form. That is not flexible. That part is not flexible. But what is flexible is this: you can really take the pain of teaching us each individual sentences of mantras. People learn and then offer in right utterings, in right pronunciation, in the right way. By practice, they would definitely improve, I believe. So that should have been done. Instead of your high-handedness to shift our faith point to the puja mantra towards the people themselves. Otherwise, what is the guarantee that you have done it wrong? You have done it right. What if you have deliberately translated it wrong? Why should we have to believe you at your face value? That is the question. So now, after I have raised these points, those who have translated it and the media house which is aggressively promoting it with the very, very obnoxious to listen to, very obnoxious Bengali translation of the mantra, those who are promoting it, please withdraw all those materials from the market, because they are hurting my sentiments. Whenever I am thinking that these people are giving an effort to shift my faith point from puja mantras to themselves, my sentiments are being hurt. My personal feelings are being hurt. And I am sure that you guys have not done it deliberately. You didn't think from this angle that people can also think in this line. But yes, people can definitely think in this line. What if you have done wrong translations of those mantras? What if you have done deliberately wrong? Why should people believe you? You do not have a lot of credibility. You have been close to a ruler who is a fraudster. So your credibility is also, your credibility is also nearing zero. Limit n tends to zero. It is your credibility, it is very, very less, if not zero. It is tending to zero. So people can really doubt that you have deliberately done wrong translation. To obviate that doubt, you have to do this kind of an exercise. And I have already expressed my apprehension. I have already said that these things are hurting my sentiments, and it is an offence as per IPC 298. I am sure you have not done it deliberately, but after this video, after I have sent across this message to all of you, to Nrishingho Bhaduri, to Pavitra Sarkar, to Kali Prashannu Bhattacharya, and to Shangbad Pratidin, that your such promotion is hurting me like anything. Believe me, I don't believe this. It is puja, it is faith, and you are hurting that part of it. Now please withdraw, because after knowing that you are hurting my sentiments, and there can be, it is, just read about IPC 298, and it is also an offence under IPC 295A. A whole community is being hurt by this. Please withdraw. Otherwise, it will turn an offence. No one can hurt the sentiment of any community whatsoever. Not to do this. Whosoever you are, whoever you are, whatever political ideology you may have, let good sense prevail. Please withdraw all those materials from public domain, because it is hurting the religious sentiment. And I request the law and order keeping authorities to please look into this matter. These are offences as per IPC 295A and IPC 298. I request, please withdraw all those materials from public domain. Thank you very much.